like, how does IFS look at addiction, Bob?
Okay, that's great. Again, this is 180 degrees against the way everybody else looks at it, or did.
Mm-hmm.
Remember I talked about civil wars, internal civil wars? An addiction is almost always an internal civil war. Let's say it's alcohol. There's some voice going, I want to drink. I want to drink. I feel terrible. I need a drink. There's another voice going, you pig, you got drunk last night. We're not going to get drunk again tonight. And these two are going like this, right? Wham, 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 wham. And it seems absolutely insoluble. It seems like you're absolutely stuck. What most therapists have done is they've gone over here and joined this voice that says, you pig, don't drink it, you're drinking too much, I hate you, and shuts up and exiles this other part. But this part comes back. This isn't a grace. So what IFS realized, it's not only these two parts there. If it was only these two parts, it would be insoluble, as the parts think it is. But there's also self up here. And there's also exiles. These are protectors, both of them, who are protecting hurt exiles. So in IFS, the first thing we do is get a self-part relationship with each of these. The manager part who's saying don't drink, what we call a firefighter part who's saying we need a drink, we need a drink. So you have a self-part relationship. You understand what they're doing and why, and you get some respect and care for them. And then the other thing IFS does, which is really revolutionary, let me describe the cycle.
Okay, great. Thank you.
This will make it easier. So there's a lot of distress in the system, and that's why this part wants to drink. There's all this distress. So the manager starts going, you're an idiot, no more drinking, no more drinking. What does that do? It increases the distress. When the distress gets high enough, this part starts drinking. And then it drinks enough, and somewhere down here, there's no more distress. But he's drunk, hungover, whatever it is. And then the manager will come in again, you did it again, you did it again, you're horrible, you're horrible, you're horrible. And it will jack it up here, and the distress in the system gets bigger and bigger, and then this part starts drinking again. And around it goes, and the person goes down the drain. What IFS realized, if you can intervene here first with the manager, you can stop this whole cycle from accelerating. So instead of joining that manager and trying to beat up the part who wants to drink, we go to the manager and say, hey, would you be willing to give us a chance to work with that other part and help it so it doesn't want to drink? Would you stop calling it names and being angry at it? Just back off enough so that we can do that. And that can almost always be negotiated. And then we go over to this drinking part and say, hey, you're drinking to control some pain, huh? And you find out about the pain. And then we tell this part, if you let us, we can go to those very tender hurt parts you're protecting, and we can get them out of where they're stuck, and we can heal them. And then you won't have to be drinking anymore. You won't be stuck in your old job. And almost always what those parts say is, well, if you could do it, that would be great, but you can't. And we just say, oh, yeah, I can see how you'd feel that way. Would you be willing, as an experiment, to let us prove to you we can? Just give us the room. Let us prove to you we can actually do what we're saying. And then we go and work with the exile, get them out, safe, unburdened. Then we come back to this part and say, how was that? Did we live up to our word? Do you still need to drink? Nah, not so much. And then you go back and negotiate with the manager. But you can see that's very, very opposite of what everybody else was doing.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. And IFS sort of got its start in working with eating disorders, which is a form of addiction.
Mm-hmm.
And eating disorders are a very, very serious addiction. Anorexia, the mostly young women starving themselves,
Yeah.
has a higher death rate than breast cancer.
Wow.
I mean, it's people are going, oh, they'll get over it. No, this is serious. This is really serious. Among women of that age, teenage, early 20s, anorexia kills a higher percentage of the people who get it than breast cancer does.
Wow.
So it's really, really serious. And IFS works really well with eating disorders and anorexia.
Mm-hmm.